Hey everybody, Coach Duality here, and this time we're here with a custom training pack designed for Cryo, a member of Sabali Gaming. And this is designed to help you improve the speed of your gameplay as a unique player and also as a player being part of a team. So let's go ahead and get into this. This first one is a backboard touch, and because of the angle it's going at, it's going to bounce upward as it goes off that wall too. It's not going to be dropping straight back down, so it's going to require a double jump aerial to get there quickly. And first I'm going to go over some basic ways that I see a lot of people approach this. So the ball's up, I'm just going to jump in the air and get there and try to touch it in the middle. But what most people are going to do is kind of just smack this off the wall or ceiling like that, because you're not thinking ahead of time enough as to how you should be touching that ball. And to get that ball down like that, your first priority would be getting height over the ball. Get your car in the air and then work with it, and then you'll tilt your car down to make the shot. And the best way to do that is to sort of hold off that second jump for a little bit longer as part of your fast aerial. So I'm going to get up, tilt back, get myself some height, and then I'm going to go down. And here I'm not even trying to hit the ball, I'm sort of just going over how you want to get up. You just want to get some height, and then you'll tilt down and make a touch on the ball. So my first priority is getting above the ball, and then I'm going to use the momentum of my boost there as I boost when I touch into the ball, and that's going to give it power as I shoot it down. So get above, make sure I'm above, and then I'm going to apply some momentum down. And that's still crossbar because I'm still hitting a lower part of the ball. You see, like that, if I'm not high enough, quick enough, I'm going to keep touching that backboard. So I need to make sure that I'm getting height, and then I'm going to try to apply momentum in the downward area. When you're pretty close, you kind of have to cut it down with your wheels there. So it helps if you give yourself some more space, like I'll wait maybe a little bit longer, and then go down, and I can get a lot more power with it because I'm able to use the front of my car. So I'm like feathering a little bit and waiting a little bit longer. So when I do make my touch, I have a lot more power on it, just like that. Because if I get up too close to it above, I kind of just have to use my wheels to smack it down. If I'm quick enough, I can still get some power, but it's a lot harder to hit it accurately like this. So again, if I go too slow, I'm just gonna miss that. Like, if I'm not getting up high enough, I'm always gonna miss that. So like my first and biggest concern here is to get above the ball so I can knock it down. Above, maybe try to feather, and then use momentum of my last bit of boost to shoot it down. So you really have to get above the ball here. It's a pretty sharp angle. You're pretty likely to hit that crossbar. There, I'm just too far above. So yeah, I'm like kind of break it down into the 3 steps, at least in my mind as I'm going for this. First, I'm getting height above the ball. Next, I'm adjusting my car to match the spot on the ball which I need. And finally, I'm applying momentum in the downward direction. This case downward because that's where I need to apply some force because I'm taking a shot down. So I'm getting some height to work around the ball and get where I need to be. And I'm sort of adjusting my car to align it in the right spot. And then I'm taking a push down with a little bit of boost that I should be saving up. So yeah, I can wait a little bit here and read it in game and like sort of react to it and then go at it. So if I'm in game, you know, I'm not going to start like flying around and like just messing up like that. I'm going to read it, try to read where that bounce is going, and get some height. And there I'm just too slow to get up. I need to tilt my car back more. Get up to make a shot down. Up, look at it, and see if I need to point my car forward or use the tires based off of how far away I am from that ball. Okay, so that's basically about it for that shot. We can go ahead and move on to the next one. Tilting back, trying to get some speed up, and then I'm just gonna tilt my car forward a little bit more so the edge of my car hits it when I apply some boost. And so this is where you have a teammate around over there taking a strong shot at backboard, and you're running up the field with him as a two-man over here. So it's going to be cutting across pretty sharp. So my first idea is to try to line up my car. You see I'll slowly drive it this way. When I start this, I'm just veering this way first off, and then I'm going to slowly incorporate that into my jump. And then I'm going to try to just, again, get above it and knock it downward. So I'm sort of, working my car towards where that ball is going, getting some height above it to try to match it, and the earlier I get height, the more time I have here to sort of feather my boost. So I gotta make sure I'm getting up high enough, and then knocking that down. It's a little too spicy of a bounce shot there. See, if I get too close, I'm not really gonna tilt my car around, I'm gonna try to just use the tires. But if I can, I wanna slow down and try to use that front of my car to get some more power on the shot. So I'm going right, and I'm making sure that I'm not too far out. There I'm just getting, just sort of boosting away haphazardly over there. So get up, try to meet it over here, and there it's too far on the front of my hood, so I need to make sure I'm back farther when I go to touch the ball, if I want to apply more momentum. So you can do this, pretty slowly. To apply some real power to it, you just need to do the whole thing a lot quicker, and I think it's more consistent that way. Yeah, see there, I'm adjusting my car too much in the first place in air. I'm not thinking enough ahead of exactly what movements I should be making. So I want to get up, try to meet it. There, I'm pretty close, so I gotta use my tires, so I might want to find myself higher up before I touch it down. Just use the space here, try to move my car vertically, and then work onto it. The faster momentum you have when you hit that ball, the quicker it's going to go. So the more boost you can save for that shot down, the more power you're going to get on it. Yeah, see then I'm just a little bit too close to net there, so I want to use my tires. But if I can like that, I want to use my hood, try to shoot it far across there. Too close, I got to use my wheels. Gonna get out. Try to touch it in there. I'm using the hood of my car, and I'm too close, so it sort of just slaps it away. So again, I'm going up, sort of reading it over here, and then I want to apply some momentum downward to make the shot. I find it easiest to hit that other corner there, just because you have some more room to work with it when the ball is going down. If I wanted to hit it straight ahead, I kind of just have to hit a little bit closer forward on the ball. More of a direct line. But I'd have to really make sure I'm back, because if I go the other way, the ball has more time to adjust to the path that I'm taking. And usually, just shooting it across net will hopefully bait them out a bit. Just trying to make micro adjustments there. See there, I'm just flying around too quick, rushing my second dodge. Yeah, see, I'm just trying to find that perfect spot, which kind of between the hood and the tires of my car, to where I'm still getting some momentum of the hood, but some downward force from the wheels. So I see it bouncing this way. Just gonna veer a little bit, get my jump, try to get some space there, and work with it from there. There, I hit too far forward on the ball. So I want to make sure I'm not doing that. Ooh, that's a little crazy there. I'm just using the time and space to my advantage. Once I'm up in the air and have some height, you see me stop boosting there, I can feather it a little bit more, and I can control my car a little bit better. So this is really crucial. This, and I believe the very next one, are going to be some common situations in 2s and 3s where you just need to get up to the ball quicker. So here again, I'm sort of the two-man. One's rushing up along the side, and he's just gonna pop it up like that. And my goal is to get to that before my teammates do. So one made a touch on the ball. After he does that and knocks it up, he's gonna want to rotate around sort of to where I am now. He'll make the touch, and then he'll sort of cycle around waiting for my touch around here. So I know that before I go into this. So what I need to do is beat the opponents to the ball. So I'm going to follow it up, and I'm going to try to hit that underside around the middle. And this is basically just to practice backboard passing from there. If I get under it more, I can create more height. But that might be a little bit risky. Usually my teammate's going to be a little bit more around midfield, so see, I want to pop it out pretty strongly like that. So when I make my touch, I want to be a little bit more around the center of the ball. Get some height, and then use my last burst of boost to apply some momentum towards that backboard. And this is, you know, an enemy's going to be watching that from net, so as soon as I see him make the touch, I basically already want to be up here and just playing it from there. If it's an open net, I might want to take a shot, but it's probably going to be relatively weak. The only way I can make like a really hard shot would be either trying to manipulate the hood of my car by reversing. But because you're so close and it's such a high and soft touch from them, you're going to be much more comfortable just creating a backboard pass from this opportunity. So, like, most players can make a shot like that, but if you have some sort of defender waiting back, like, they're just going to be waiting for that, and that is so easy to save. But what isn't easy to save is, you know, a backboard touch like that to draw them out, and if you have a teammate who knows that first man, you know, you're going to make that touch above the backboard, and then he's going to go up before them and try to read it. So again, I'm going to know that, and just try to work with him to get some height and under the ball, and push it off that backboard. So I'm creating some space to where it's bouncing out far enough to start meeting to where my teammate is. Because if it's too close like that, that's going right where my opponents are. So I want to draw them out and create some space. So I want to be touching that center part of the ball. So I'm getting height, and I'm trying to push it forward. There again, I'm a little too under the ball. So I got to make sure when I'm applying that last bit of momentum, it's towards the center of the ball. And the longer I do that, the more power I'll have. There I'm just a little bit too far forward. I want to make sure I'm touching this a little bit to the left of the ball when I'm going up. That's a little too soft. I just want to get up, try to keep some speed, and then meet it around the left sort of underside of the ball, but mostly around center. Because again, if I sort of take a shot, you know, I have to feather and slow down a bit, and it's going to be pretty saveable. I mean, a really fast player like K-Dop or Devo would just get up really quick and then use their speed to knock that down, except in the goal. But that's really hard to do and just requires a lot of practice and just ideas of timing in your head. So you just want to follow it up and try to touch that left sort of center side of the ball there. And this will just increase the speed of your gameplay because, like I said, instead of taking a soft touch down and having it cleared out into your pitch, you're keeping the ball on their side and allowing your teammate more time to work with it. You know, just making sure that it's always people on your team that are touching the ball before them. So, by making a backboard pass like this, I'm keeping the ball in a spot where my teammates can work with it, and I'm also making sure that I'm not decelerating the ball by making some sort of weak shot. So, I'm keeping speed to sort of second guess, you know, make the opponent second guess, and I'm putting the ball in a favorable position for my teammate, who should be waiting around midfield there. So, as soon as I see him make that touch, you know, I'm going to go up, tilt back, and then make my other jump and boost again. And this is an opportunity where we can go over the difference between a double jump aerial and a fast aerial. So a double jump aerial, the problem is, if I'm boosting while I'm doing it, that jump is applying momentum forward, so it's just kind of pushing my car forward, and then I can tilt up. But I'm a little bit farther forward than I like. If I jump, tilt back, and then save my second jump, I'm still farther behind the ball here. Like, I still have more room to work with it as I go to make my second touch here. See, if I go like this, and then sort of tilt up, I'm farther forward, and then my touch is a little dinkier because I lose a lot of my momentum because I have to just, force my car up like that. And I can still get, a decent touch, but again, if I just use that fast aerial like that, I have a lot more time and space to work with the ball because I'm getting my car in the air quicker. So yeah, that's basically it for that. Again, just a little bit harder to do it like this. I just want to get some height as quick as possible. That's a little exaggerated, but you know, just keep some height and a little bit of forward momentum, and just follow that ball in the air. It's not moving too quick forward. So your main goal is just getting up with it, and then you can apply some momentum forward like that. So we'll go ahead and let that drop. Move on to the next shot. Okay, so this is an instance where you probably just had some shots being pressured on your net. You have a teammate in the corner there trying to push it out, and you want to follow it up. And this is going to really teach you patience and how important it is to analyze the situation. Because I'm going to show you what most people are going to do just subconsciously. You know, you can see how your teammate's making the touch and it's going to go up. So naturally, a lot of people are just going to want to get up like this, and it's hitting the ceiling. And just like that, you are so far out of the play. You know, you're up in the air, there's basically nothing you can do to react with that. But if I read this a little bit longer and get up, I have some wiggle room. I can work with it. You know, I'm not throwing myself out of the play, even though even if I do miss the ball, or, you know, get a weird touch like that, I'm sort of like flying around here. See, I'm just closer to the ground, so that when I am recovering, I'm able to, you know, sort of slide around here quicker. Now, so the best way to play this is you need to apply a lot of upward momentum towards like the back sort of center side of the ball when you make contact with it, to keep it flying forward, because this ball is going to bounce down off the ceiling and towards the ground. And if I shoot that on the center of the ball, it's basically just going to drive it forward into the ground. So to keep the ball up in the air, to give it some more time and room, I'm going to want to touch the underside. So I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to I'm just going to be looking at the underside of this ball. And what I'm trying to show you right now also is, you know, I'm jumping up early and I can still sort of recover like this, but my touch is going to be a lot weaker here. I'm not going to get a lot of power on it if I just get up early like this. And that's what a lot of people are doing. So I could get up further with it, and then jump, and then I can get a lot more power and a lot more control over the touch I'm making. You know, the longer I wait, the closer I am to the ball when I apply that momentum with my jump. And that's going to help you. You see, like, it was here, and then within a couple seconds, it's already down the other side of the pitch. So I'm just going to wait. I keep doing that. Because, like, here, I want to delay my second jump a little bit, and that'll help me just read the ball a little bit more. Again, I'm still going up a little too early there. I gotta just sort of make that second jump as close to when that ball is coming down as possible. There I'm a little too far forward. And there I'm just too far back. Like, the idea is you want to meet it when it's going down and push it back up. There I let off the boost, so I'm not close enough on the ball. There I'm too far forward, so I'm just trying to find that sweet spot and just make those little adjustments that I find based off of my mistakes. And then eventually you'll get a pretty strong touch like that once you get the idea of it. See, you can see how much power you can get just by delaying that dodge a little bit, keeping yourself on the ground, and work with it from a better angle in the first place. And there my second jump is too quick again, so it's going to just smack the ball into the ground. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not holding left on my stick. Again, just jumping a little too early there. I want to try to meet it later on out. Oh man, yeah, my dead zone is super small, so it's probably canceling that really easily. So there, I'm trying to touch it with the corner of my car, because you'll get the strongest touch from that front right or front left corner of your car. So I'm just waiting, and then if I can, I'm going to want to try to touch it with the front end or corner. And you see me sort of push my car down like this, because again, I'm trying to meet the underside of the ball there to keep the ball up and going forward. If I keep going straight up, it's not always going to get the same amount of power. Usually if I go too quick and sort of touch it like that. Again, I just want to make sure that I'm then pushing the ball upward with my hit to allow it to fly farther down the field here. So, you know, like, again, just take some time to analyze it. You know, if I go up too hastily, I'm just out of the play, like forever. But the advantage of waiting a little bit and then going up, you're able to play that ball a lot better and apply a lot more power to it. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it go forward. Try to save that second jump, and then I'll get a decent amount of power on that. Forward. There I just slowed down a little bit too much. This ball is moving pretty fast, so I sort of have to try to make sure I'm matching its speed. That's too far forward, yeah. But, you know, either way, you're getting this ball to the complete opposite side of the pitch pretty quickly by just saving that and making sure that you're hitting the underside of the ball with your touch. Sort of just like that. I'm gonna wait, try to save my second jump there. I'm just slowing down too much. So you see, like, I get to the right side there because this ball is moving towards the right. So depending on when I jump at that ball, that's going to decide how quickly I need to go. So if I just want to get to it super quickly, I'm going to want to remain on this left line here. If I'm going slower, I want to be a little bit farther to the right because it's going to be moving to the right. But if I'm quicker, I need to make sure I'm meeting it earlier as it's crossing the pitch there, diagonally. So yeah, that'll help you learn how to push that ball out quickly with a teammate and, you know, see how important it is to analyze the ball before you go at it. So here is a similar situation, but this will help understand feathering your boost and how important it is, because this is going to go pretty high. It's going to go pretty close to the ceiling there. And again, you know, your teammate made a touch, you just want to be able to follow this up. So if I get up pretty quickly and I keep boosting, I lose a lot of my control, but most often I'm just going to sort of smack it away into the ceiling, and I can't really work with it. So I want to get height, and then I want to start feathering so that when I do make contact with the ball, it's not touching that ceiling again. You know, I don't want it to touch that ceiling. I want this ball to keep height, but I want to move it forward, just down the pitch. So I want to get height and feather it, and there I'm just hitting too far on the underside. When I hit this, I want to make sure I'm just hitting a little bit on the underside, but still towards the center of the ball. So I want to get up, feather a bit, and then just knock that forward. You know, I want to get my first jump up because I want to meet that ball after my teammate hit it quickly. But I don't want to just double jump like this quickly, you know. I don't need to, like, quickly use that jump. I can get my first jump and then do my second a little bit after. That's probably a little bit too delayed, but you see what I mean. Just use that time and space to your advantage. Save that momentum, a little bit of momentum of your boost for that final touch, and you know, this doesn't need to be a shot or anything. This is just a power clear. Hopefully in threes you'd have a third pushing up with you, or the 1 and 2s who just hit that might be pushing up with you, because you know, you have a lot of height and you're closer to the ball because you're right beside him when he hits it, so you can get to it before the enemies do. So he can trust you to hit that pretty far downfield, unless someone you know, hits like a nice aerial challenge. But, you know, again, this is just helping you push the drive further out of your pitch really quick. So practice getting that first jump and then getting up to sort of follow this. Try to hit with the corner or the front of your car. And, you know, again, what's important is that I'm just getting up as quickly as possible, not allowing any of the opponents to get some sort of read on that. Because if they're around midfield or anything and I hesitate, they can still get up quickly to that and beat me to it. So I need to get in the air as early as possible to try to, you know, I'm creating a presence so that they know they can't go for it, but also just keeping possession of the ball with my team. Just getting up, and I just want to sort of feather and hit that underside around the mid. Not too fast. I want to get my height, and then I want to push it forward. There, I'm just a little too far to the right, so I just want to adjust and wait a little bit longer, and then I'll be hitting the left side like that. You know, if I rush it too quick at this angle, I'm going to be hitting it to the right. But if I wait a little bit longer, just driving forward, you'll see that ball will be crossing my path. And that's basically why it's important to feather your boost, you know, if need be, to let that ball have some time to cross into your path. And you'll get a much better line. Hopefully a teammate can follow up after that. See, that's just too quick. It's sort of smacking it against the ceiling, and then an enemy will certainly be able to get to it from there. But hopefully you can get up, keep it off the ceiling and just into the air high enough, and hopefully have another teammate ready to follow that up after your touch there. So, hopefully that helps you all out. I can run through this one more time here. Any feedback is welcome. Let me know if you still have any questions on how to approach these shots. There, again, I'm just a little too close. You know, feedback is super appreciated. Hopefully this will help you get an advantage of speed over your enemies. You know, just practice those team plays. This is why rotation is important. Someone makes a touch on the ball and they should be rotating off, and that's allowing me here, the second spot, to get some like speed as I'm approaching that ball. Because if my teammate's not rotating off quickly, you know, he might double commit to it, or just not be in a good spot to save it. I'm trusting my first, whoever made that touch originally, to start cycling around so that I have some time to work with. See, this is just a lot harder because I do a bunch of different touches, and then I'm not like used to this mentally and how I should be approaching it. So, you know, this is why it's important to sort of practice each of these a couple times before you jump into some sort of gameplay. You know, you can only, like, I can do this a couple times and I'm at least seeing what I'm doing wrong. You know, maybe I'm going up too directly, not back too much, or I'm not letting the ball come to me enough. But, you know, I don't have to make sure that I can hit these all constantly. What I need to see is what's wrong with my approach at these shots. You know, there I'm just flying around. So, like, by getting accustomed to this, you know, I can sort of calm myself down and take a more tactical approach to it, and be a lot more consistent with how I'm placing my shots. I'm just going to want to get up here and either knock it off backboard or down, but, you know, like I said earlier, this is just a good backboard passing opportunity. And here, you know, I just want to wait, try to hit the underside, knock it downfield, get some real power from it. You know, that's probably like 3 or so seconds from the ball being on your side, like completely on the line of your net, to on the other side of the pitch. And again, this is just feathering, practicing having a little bit more air control when you go for the touch. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps you out. Shoot me a message if you're looking to get the code for this pack. Make sure you like this video if this helped you out at all. I appreciate any sort of feedback, and I'll see you guys around. Thanks.